Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. So, this is the Apple Watch News Group. And I know many of you are new faces, but we have been getting ready for the Apple Watch's release. And what we've been doing is learning code and design so that when it comes out, we're ready to launch an app for it. We've been learning Swift and tools like Facebook's Origami and tools like Sketch to make graphics. And what I try to do is kind of have a TikTok philosophy where one meetup is a design event and the next one is a code event. And then I'm also trying to do a TikTok with San Francisco and Silicon Valley as well. So that way we're all involved and we can all learn from each other. So what do we know about the watch? Well, we know that in the next couple of weeks, WatchKit is going to be released. And so we're going to be right on top of that. On November 22nd, we're going to have a workshop where we can learn WatchKit code and also design for the Apple Watch. So how can you work in Interface Builder and how can you use tools like Sketch to actually make graphics for the watch? And then on the next day, the 23rd, we're going to have a hackathon. And so the website for that is hackathon.watch. And so I'd love to see all of you there. If you are not a developer, don't worry. I mean, design is at least 50% of the battle when we're making these things. And so I want to see all of the designers there. You can build the UI and the UX and show what you've got for apps and experiences for the watch. And finally, notes, downloads, and tutorials. So downloads, what I've got, right now we've got a Photoshop PSD, so you can put your own watch screens in there. And we've got some Swift playgrounds, so you can learn Swift if you want to. And also tutorials are on our community website called happy.watch. And that said, I want to thank EchoUser for having us here today. They are a user experience research firm based here. And I'll just, if you want to say a few words.
Yeah, my name is Patrick. I head up business development and all the events and stuff like that here at EchoUser. As Ben said, we're a user experience research and design firm. We primarily focus on a user-centered design approach. Somebody shook it before that. We focus on a user-centered design approach. That's the primary paradigm that we incorporate in a lot of the UX that we do. So Ben reached out to us because we actually had two designers who we'll introduce in a second and lead us through this evening, who actually worked with another development firm to kind of reimagine and rethink what a few different apps that we know on mobile or smartphones reimagine them for the watch. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Again, a lot of you come from different backgrounds. You might be a developer or designer, but again, happy to talk to any of you if you're curious about what we do and how we do it. If you're looking for jobs, obviously we have positions that are open. We're a design firm, but we do work with a lot of development firms as well. So I'm happy to refer you if you're looking right now. So, but I hope you enjoy and hand it back there.
So the format for tonight is we're going to look at the Tinder app, kind of a case study. And we're going to kind of talk through why these guys made the design decisions they did for what to include and how to simplify the experience. And then after that, we're going to break up into groups, and each group is going to pick a famous company and kind of make a few screens for their watch app, and then we'll all talk about it as a group together. And that way we can all share ideas about what an app for the watch means and what can be included on it. So without further ado, I will take over.
Great. How many here are excited about Apple Watch? And, almost everyone. And enhance the Tinder experience. Here's what we think. The Apple Watch will let the user discover.
This screen is one slide off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's because it's going through YouTube. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I should probably wait for a second or so, right? Okay, thanks. So Apple Watch can enhance that Tinder experience. Here's what we think. The Apple Watch will let the user discover new people right from their wrist, so it's convenient. Therefore, increasing that possibility of meeting new people. Also, we can incorporate interesting features using doodle and heartbeat features that we're going to get into later. So we're going to get into how we designed our Tinder Apple Watch. We took a user-centered design approach and involved two stages. One is research, and the other one is design. As a previous project, we conducted exclusive user research in wearables. We interviewed various users of wearables such as Google Glass, Pebble smartwatch, and activity trackers. Our main finding was that wearables users gain benefits in accessibility. What I mean by accessibility here, I mean that the user can access device and information quickly and very convenient, and with minimal effort. Just imagine how fast it is to glance over a watch versus reaching out to your bag or back pocket to take out your phone to find your notification. We also learned that the users can access information in a subtle way without disturbing others or without breaking the flow of whatever the users are involved in. I have one quote from a Pebble smartwatch user. He told me that he can access to his notification by just glancing on it without breaking the flow of his conversation with others. Based on the research, we came up with some pointers to keep in mind when designing for wearables. First, we should design for context. Second, we should design for a focused experience. For example, Google Glass has been around for a couple of years. How many people have used Google Glass here? Oh, a lot of people, yay! And have you been using it for a long time? I'm just curious. Do you still use it?
About a minute and a half.
Okay. Thanks for.
I watched the Black Sabbath video. And it cut off because the person who owned it spoke something else and it did something else. I get that.
Thank you for honest feedback. So, like that, Google Glass users, especially the people who can't find and who are having trouble finding the useful consumer use cases. So recently, Google Glass has been targeting enterprise users, such as medical practitioners, warehouse workers, and the law enforcement agencies. I can give you a quick example. New York Police Department has been pilot testing the Google Glass on police officers. So just imagine the benefit. A police officer's job can be easier and safer if he could access to the right information when he needed it on the, for example, like suspect, right? And instantly on his glass. So we're gonna jump into design stage. I'm gonna hand it over to Ian.
Hello everyone. So first, you guys wonder why wear sunglasses like as night and indoor. It's not because we're going to introduce colorful design. It's because one of my eyes got a problem, so I want to wear my sunglasses to not scare you guys. So okay, let's come back to the presentation. So for this design exercise, we were trying to think about what's the best way to enhance the Tinder experience on Apple Watch. Okay, so although we didn't have much time working on this design exercise, actually we only had like 3 or 4 days working on that. But then we still went through a typical design process. So we brainstorming ideas, we sketch design solution, and we also create hypermodels for software screens. And at the same time, we validate our design decisions and iterate design along the way. So before introducing our design, I want to just walk you guys through software screens on Tinder's mobile version. So for the first screen, you can see their default screen. So there are 3 main actions at the bottom of the screen. The first one on the left is the X, which means you can tap on that to say, oh, I'm not interested in this person. Or you can tap on the heart icon to say, oh, I like this person. or you can just tap on the middle of the two buttons, the information icon. It's pretty tiny to view more about this person's information. So, but then you can also use Tinder's numerous iconic gestures, swipe right to send a like, or swipe left to pass this person. And for this screen on the left, this is the information screen. So you can tap on the information icon, or you just tap on the picture of that person to get to this screen. Or you can go to the settings to specify some details like distance or gender. So second night we were thinking about, okay, so how can we optimize the Tinder experience on the Apple Watch? So the first thing we were doing is that try to think about what's the main components of Tinder experience. So the first one is the discovery stage. So on the discovery stage, you want to browse people and see which person you are interested in by swiping right or left. And the other stage is the got a match stage. So if two people happen to like each other, you get a match. And after that, you can interact with the matches within the application using some kind of message. And this one is the explore more in detail. So the first thing you will do typically will be to browse a lot of people, and then you show your interest by swiping right or left. And if it creates a match, the system will notify you of a match by sending you like a notification. And if it's on the Apple Watch, it will send you like a vibration notification on your wrist. And if you want to interact with the person at a point, you can send a message to them. And do you guys think, how do you guys think about this flow? Do you think I missed anything for the Tinder's basic features for all the Tinder users here? Okay, so actually this test flow, we only focus on the discovery stage and also the initial interaction. So we didn't include the continuing interactions or the sharing photos features. So as some of you guys may know that Tinder they also have a feature called Moments where you can share your photos with all your matches. But for our Tinder Apple Watch experience, we're not going to include the ongoing interactions and also the sharing photo features. And the main reason is that because of screen size and also the context views, we believe that the use case will be very different with people who are using Tinder on their mobile phone. So because it's not the ideal situation to like browse photos of your matches about their lives or adventures on this tiny small screen. And also it's not that ideal to have like intensive interactions with all your matches on this kind of screen. You want to use your mobile phone to do that. And so this is one of our sketches. It's one of our initial designs. I don't know if you guys can see it clearly. So on the second screen in the middle, so this is the screen we imagined for the Tinder on Apple Watch. So you can see that we still include the heart and the X buttons on the default screen. So in addition to the profile picture, there's also a heart and X button. So you can tap on either of these buttons, or you can swipe right or left to indicate your interest. But then you may notice that we don't have information icon on this screen. So the main reason for that is because there's a lot happening on this screen already. If we include the information icon, it's going to be more crowded. So we get rid of that. But how do you access people's information? You can either tap on the picture or you can swipe up to see more information. Okay, so yeah, that's the screen. Swipe up, and if you got a match, the system will notify you, and you can decide whether you want to send a message or you want to keep swiping. And if you decide to send a message, there are different ways you can send a message. You can send an audio message, or you can doodle, or you can maybe try to find an emoticon or a picture from your library. And if you decide to doodle, you can just basically draw something on your watch surface and send that photo to your to your match. Okay, so this is another iteration. Do you guys notice any difference between this screen and the last iteration, the first screen?
There are no buttons anymore.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So for this iteration, we get rid of all the buttons, so there's no buttons at all. And the reason for that is because although for the last iteration, there were only 2 buttons, but imagine on this Apple Watch, this kind of small interface, it's still too much. And it's very possible that you may accidentally tap on the wrong button. And you'll go, oh, I don't want to like this person, but I like it. What should I do? And if you are not, so we just knew that Tinder introduced a new feature called undo. So you can actually undo when you need to be a paid user. But if I'm just a user, what should I do? Okay, so on this screen, we try to leverage people's understanding of Tinder's iconic gestures. Swipe right to like, swipe left to pass. So people they can just swipe right to say, oh, I like this person, or swipe left to say, okay, I don't like. And then they can also swipe up to see more information or tap on the picture. And another thing that we added to this screen is the heartbeat pattern. It's very small, so you guys may not see it clearly. It says like on the right, there's like a heart with a pattern. So it shows your real-time heartbeat pattern when you first see this person. So when you see this guy like Peter, you may feel like, oh, he looks creepy. I'm not interested in him. But then your heartbeat pattern may tell you another story. So you may think twice before you decide to swipe to the left. Yeah, so try to add some more elements to the screen. Yeah, and then so you swipe right to like, swipe left to pass. Okay, and if you get a match, you will see a notification. So from here, you may wonder, so what should I do? Let's just a screen. Actually, you can swipe up to review more actions, or swipe down to dismiss the notification. And you may already notice that we were trying to introduce some kind of interaction patterns in our Tinder app experience on Apple Watch. So swipe right to like, swipe left to pass, swipe up to review more information or actions, and swipe down to dismiss the notification. So, but then it's not like we just imagine all these gestures. Actually, like in your iPhone, you already use this gesture. You swipe up on your home screen to see like the action menu, and you swipe down to dismiss as a panel. And also, although Apple Watch hasn't been released from their introduction, we already know that in Apple Watch's notification center, you can swipe down to dismiss a notification. So we are trying to like, there are 2 things. We are trying to leverage Apple Watch's new feature, the heartbeat like monitor, to incorporate into our design, and we also want to leverage people's understanding of some of the common gestures. Because as you guys know that in this kind of tiny small screen, it's hard to like to tap on things without making mistakes. And this is our high fidelity markups. And for our high fidelity markups, we use Sketch app to design all our high fidelity screens. And as you guys know, like Sketch app is one of the most popular design tool in the design community right now. So you can see that in the middle, this is our default screen. There's a picture and also some basic information, and then the heartbeat pattern. And you can swipe up to see more information, or you swipe right to like this person. Although it's kind of small, but you may notice that there's like color. The color becomes kind of greenish after you move the picture to the right. So there's background color kind of greenish, and also a label called like is being added to the picture. So it's kind of like a double confirmation of your action. Some people, they may forget, okay, so I forgot, should I swipe right to next person or swipe left? But then whenever you move like the picture to a certain angle, you will see the background color becomes greenish, and also the like label being added. So you can like confirm your action this way. And this, so this screen is like when you get a match, you will see this screen, and you can swipe up to review an action menu to either say hi or to doodle or keep swiping. So for this option, say hi. Have you guys heard about an app which was pretty popular before? It's called Yo. Yeah. So for that app, the only thing you can do is to send Yo to your friends. So people think it's pretty fun, and we think it's fun too. So we have this option called say hi. So the only thing you can do is to say hi. And so after you get to a match, you just tap on this button, and you will send a hi to your match. That's the only thing you can do. But we think this could be useful because it's pretty hard to type anything on this kind of small screen. Oh, and also like if you want to record an audio message, if you are in like a public or loud environment, it's not as convenient. So we can just say hi or just doodle on your watch surface. But this is like for that yeah, okay. So maybe I should just I think I should just ask you guys, what do you guys think about this design? Like, what do you guys think about this kind of design, like having the say hi and doodle and keep swiping options on the screen?
Don't you just swipe for extra?
Exactly. So that's a problem that we actually found later. So we also presented this design to our internal design team and asked for their feedback. And one of the things they pointed out is about the keep swiping button. So they were like, but keep swiping makes me feel I need to swipe. But actually, you just need to tap on that to go back to the discovery mode. So we think maybe we should change the wording to be keep browsing, or browsing more, or discover more, something like that. But then still, it just occupies too much space. So in our last iteration, we just get rid of this button. But how do you get up here? Anyone want to guess? Yeah, exactly. So we want to leverage people's understanding again. You can just swipe down all the way from the top to bottom to dismiss this whole panel. And then, now you can see that we replace the say hi option with the audio option again. Does anyone know why we made this final decision?
Can you pre-record it?
Oh, yeah, we didn't think about that, but that's a good idea. Yeah. So the main reason why we don't think say hi maybe not that's interesting because also say hi could be fun, or say yo could be fun to your friends. But then imagine those are the people you haven't met. You just get a match with them. And if the only thing you do for your initial interaction just say hi, I was like, oh, I don't think you are that interested. So you don't want to leave this kind of first impression. So is why we replace that with the audio message again. So you can send an audio message in private or in like a quiet environment, or you can just doodle it if you want. Okay, so our next step, naturally, we want to kind of like know how users feel about the design. So we would like to create a more interactive prototype, create more screens, and conduct user testing with users like Tinder mobile users or Tinder Android web users in the future. Okay, finally, our main takeaways of this design exercise is that design wearables definitely help us focus on what users want to accomplish most, given their context. And also design wearables open new design opportunities and challenges for both like developers and designers. So we can work together and think about how we can provide the best watch experience for the people we are serving for. So that's our presentation today. And thank you very much again for taking your time. Yeah, so do you guys.
So any questions about what they did or why they made the decisions they did?
So yeah, I know this is just a fast work on the watch upload to your app, but I had just one question. Can you from the watch go from browsing to like doodling or talking to someone you already know?
Oh, you mean can I just like is there like a match list that I can go back? We didn't include that feature in our design. Yeah, but I think it will be useful too. But then I think this kind of feature will be best fit into the mobile solution. But I can see that will be also useful on the watch. Yeah.
So first off, nice job, guys. This really nice to see your process. So the one question I had is, how would it work between platforms? So if I'm on my watch and if I do either a voice message or if I do a doodle, and if the person who's on the receiving end is on a cell phone, how would the doodle come through, or how would the voice button come through? Because it isn't set up to receive doodles and voice bytes, right?
Huh.
Yeah. I would imagine that, have you used new iOS 8?
Uh-huh.
You can actually record a voicemail on that and send it to someone. Someone can open it actually. So I would imagine some kind of interaction similar to that would happen. And doodles similar, like maybe like share the moment or maybe send a picture to someone and then open up enlarge the image. That's how I imagine. But good question though.
Yeah. So doodle format on Apple Watch could be just doodle, and then when you send to a mobile phone users, it could be translated into like PNG file or JPEG file, like more like image file instead. Yeah.
Yeah. Why just choose heart rate out of all the other things to show? Because I mean, heart rate means so many things, you know. So it's just, I wonder what's the decision-making process around that.
Why we want to add
Yeah, because I mean, you can have all sorts of things, right? The guy's driving, he's swiping, so he's pitched up on the heart rate, or just like in your day-to-day in a meeting. So like all of a sudden you're getting all sorts of weird data that's coming through. But why did you guys? I mean, I just out of curiosity, why just use heart rate out of all the other functionalities?
That's a good point. So at first we just think it's like a fun way to like let you know like different aspects of your first impression on that person. But as you said that you could be in a relatively different context as you are when you are browsing those pictures. So it may affect your habits. But then so that's kind of like more like experimental. And then I believe when we come down to the testing, people may also like, why we want to have the hobby pattern, because it could be, it's not as dependable. Yeah.
Good question. This is why we want to do user testing on users.
Why did you pick Tinder? What were your other ones that you were thinking about?
Oh, sure.
Could you just re-ask the questions?
Why did they pick Tinder, and if there were any other apps that they considered?
Sure. First of all, who thinks Tinder app is fun app? Thanks, guys. Yeah, we thought the same thing. We were like, Tinder app sounds really fun. What it looks like if we, put it on the Apple Watch. But second, like the main reason that we picked Tinder was we thought we can really use this Apple Watch experience and really improve that user experience of Tinder to the next level. So, for example, like I said, it's so much quicker to go through that Apple Watch than just like pulling up your phone. So we thought maybe we can make more fun experience to users. That's how we pick that Tinder app.
Yeah, so there are many people when they are trying to imagine like a new app on the phone, and they pick some like Facebook, Spotify, or all these Skype or this kind of apps. And the reason why we pick Tinder is mostly because we think it will be a fun experience, like try to imagine like matchmaking on the go. It's like, oh, we can always like browse pictures and say we are interested in this person or not, wherever you are. And I think this can provide different kind of experience to users.
Yeah, new designs, you didn't use digital crown.
Just when you ask, yeah.
So you didn't use a digital crown in the Tinder app design. Is that because we can't use it in apps?
You can use it in apps. So I don't know why.
Yeah, we can use we think we can use it, but so we would definitely give the users the option of doing either digital print or the using screen. So, but we didn't incorporate that because it was kind of early stage. Yeah.
So you would use the crown for swiping.
Yeah, like choosing each action, like choosing the options, right? You just select and zoom in, zoom out, kind of things like that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, for the next part of our session, we've done this before in a meetup and it worked out really well. The thing we did before was we did storyboards for kind of a user interaction story. Today, what I want to do is pick an app that your group decides on and draw a few screens up for the Apple Watch, and then we'll present it all together. It's really useful to kind of to help yourself think through how you're going to simplify it down for the watch. And so we've got plenty of space over here. There's whiteboards on the wall that we can work in groups. And so that would be fun. So what I'm going to do is just go down the rows and count like number 1 to 6. And so whatever number you are, that's the group that you'll be in. So we'll start here.
1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm 4. Come on, guys, roll 4 here. 5.
No bad idea. No bad
It's lunchtime.
So we decided to redo maps on the iWatch. So the first screen that we want users to see as they open up the main screen is basically a map of where the person is, an orientation that's always going forward. And to kind of figure that out, they can have a compass on the side and maybe an estimate of what address they're actually standing on. And then, all right, fine. So we don't have all the features down. The next one is probably the most important, how you're going to search for the location or destination that you want to go to. So we had a few things, but I think one of the things we went down to is either a swipe down that we learned from the Tinder folks who gave us the idea, or maybe you can do something like this with your hand. You get a thing that comes down, and we really think that voice will be something that a lot of people use. So you just speak the destination, but in case you don't know how to say the street, which sometimes you don't, there's a way that this menu will drop down, and you can choose from several guesses, or you can do a little input if you want. One of the things we want is when they're showing the different options of paths, since the watch is so small, we think that it makes more sense that you scroll through each one instead of getting a little list. It's too compressed. And for San Francisco, we might even want to see how inclined the route is. So we want a more, flat path that we're riding on, right? And so now let's say the user, does select this one versus this one, or maybe they want to challenge this one. Now we're going to go to the travel. This is where they're traveling. So right here is the direction. So it says make, the next right on Front Street. Here's the orientation. It takes them about. This is the estimated minute, and this is the route that you're traveling. Also, as you're getting closer to Front Street, this will vibrate, more and more intensely until it comes to a point where you're going to make a turn. Now, if for some reason you ignore this and you go the complete opposite way, it'll start vibrating like this to tell you that you make a completely wrong stop. And sometimes this happens. There's like a right, and then there's another right next to it. Nobody knows which right you're supposed to take. And
that's great, because the vibration motor in the watch is much more precise than what the phone has, and so you can like differentiate between different types of vibrations.
This be like a super
that's something like
that. And pretty much if you follow everything correctly, you get to where you need to go, and the watch magically, works. Some other things that we are thinking about in terms of features is, one is like showing you the incline as you're walking. Another one is maybe the heart rate and your steps, and kind of correlating to exercise. I thought about the last one that might be possible. So one thing is, I like to just go green lights, hopefully, right? So if the watch can piggyback data off of other users that have the watch in front of them, you know, maybe one of the things like if you were to run a little bit faster, you can get through this red light. You can get through this green light before it turns red, right? So it's like, yeah, go a little faster. And then, you know, and then it's like, oh, you'll never make it, and it won't do anything, right? So, yeah. Well, I'm from New York, and one of the things we try to do is go all green no matter what. Even when it's red, we still think it's green. So. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys very much. We'll go over here next.
Alright, so we decided to redo Uber on the Apple Watch, and we actually the sort of strategy we adopted was that we went through the sort of features that the watch can offer and sort of paired them against some of the use cases that we like about the app Uber the way it exists, and we actually ended up adding certain things to it. So the stuff that we came up with was, what Uber is good at is that you can basically get picked up wherever you are. What Uber doesn't do at this point is, it does give you an estimate, but what we thought would be nice is if the user could specify what they're comfortable paying. What is also important to me, Uber currently shows what cars are around me, and frankly speaking, I do not care about that. All I care about is how soon can it get to me. So I don't want to see it on a map. But once the car has been dispatched to pick me up, then I want to know how far it is from me. And then there's Apple Pay, so I guess we could pay instantly. And yeah, there's the potential for taptic feedback. So once the car is there, I could get notified that my driver is here to pick me up. And yeah, there is something that I want to point out on sort of the storyboarding that we've done. It's probably clearer that way.
This is really cool.
But yeah, so you basically zoom into some kind of a map view, which tells you where you are. You don't necessarily need to see all the cars around you. All you basically need is basically a list. Because I'm limited in terms of the real estate, so we thought that showing cars on a map would be fairly limiting because the cars that are near you could be out of your scope. So this is basically just a list of all the cabs that are around you, and it's basically a list that also contains how many minutes it will take for them to come get you. So that already conveys all the necessary information, frankly speaking. And once you click on this, you get to what we call the price meter. Which is where you use the crown and it's kind of like a speedometer, and there are areas that are green, so this could be like $40. So I'm always happy paying under $40 when I take a cab, but once it gets to 80 or 100, that's something I would never do. So that's like the red region for me, and we feel that this could be a system-wide setting. This could this could be something you set up on your phone just one time. That I'm always comfortable paying 40 to 80 is okay, and beyond 80 is never okay. So yeah, you basically just use the crown to manipulate that, and then once you acknowledge that, and the driver accepts that, you basically get all the details that Uber at this point of time provides, which are the reviews of what car is being driven to you, what model it is, and some details about the driver. That's it. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Is this one next?
So we actually started off trying to rethink an Apple Watch experience for Fire Chat, which I don't maybe know it's an app that when you're in an area nearby, I think it's like 100, 200 feet, it'll actually connect people so you can chat. But over the course of talking, we evolved it, and it ended up being a whole new startup, and we already got funding for it. And the idea is that it's called Groupie, and the idea is basically just using Bluetooth from your phone to connect you in a meaningful way when you're at an event. So you would create a default check-in. You would start off first by having a user profile that you would create online on the computer or on your phone, which would have zero personal information, but but you could do OAuth opt-in through like Twitter, Facebook, and all your social networks. Once you have that set up, you walk into an event, such as this one, and you get an alert that says, check in to Groupie, here's the app. Based on your Twitter information, your Facebook, on your interests, and based on what's happening in the room, you'll start getting a trending of tags and keywords that are happening in that space. You can then select the one that you're interested in at that moment. So I don't care about the Giants here because I'm at an iOS 8 meetup or Apple Watch meetup, so you click on that one. And then that's it. So you have that selected, and you're walking around. A lot of times when you go to an event, you actually can talk to, you're talking to one person when the person you really care about who has that same shared interest is actually right over here. So how do you make that distinction? So the idea is that while you're walking around the event and you're networking, if you are within 5 feet of someone who has the same selected interest, both of your watches will buzz and light up at the same color at that instant. You can then talk and make it. You have that interaction. You talk. If you want to actually solidify that interaction, that connection, you can then connect. We have to figure out whether you push the connect button or what, but you can just fist bump to make that connection, and it can either connect you via LinkedIn or whatever you set to be that profile. That's it. Just gotta connect that button.
Anybody else on this, or is this?
No,
okay. So we'll go around over here. One over here.
Yeah. So this was So before we start, I'd just like to let everybody know that we're group number 2, and my name is Alpha. This is Vivek, and then other guys. Where are the other guys? So we got Marco, and we got Brian, and we also have Philip in the back over there. So my props for helping everybody out, and it's a collaborative effort. And so I guess we can start out. We can riff off stuff. I can talk about design, and you just talk about the process. So in terms of process, we started off with basically trying to identify what would be a good application. So we thought of a few different ones like LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Foursquare, Facebook, and Airbnb. We ultimately decided to go with LinkedIn, which is the most difficult one. So when we thought of LinkedIn, we knew we had a limited amount of time, and we wanted to figure out how to best represent the idea. So rather than kind of going across the gamut in terms of what the features are of the application, we figured we'll just list maybe some key features and focus on them. So, we can start with a logo. Basically, I don't know if you guys use Twitter, like that whole animation thing where it just pops out. And have I wish we had like an animation thing where the thing just pops out, and they'll make it like engaging, right, instead of just normal, like boring image. So maybe we can proceed to the main profile, I guess. Yeah. So basically, what happens is the first screen you get is like your own profile. But from there, you have this menu which allows you to do a few different things. So maybe if you wanted to find who's around you, that would be one use case. The second thing would be maybe to endorse somebody who's already part of your network. And the third would be to see like who else has actually viewed your profile. So if we focus on the find, we thought it would be kind of cool to maybe, if you're at an event like this, I'm just interested in like people within like 5 feet or whatever. So I'm able to actually specify what the range is. And if I said 5 feet, it would show me a little map and a few pins. But I could also do an alternate view where you get like, maybe a name and a title or a name and a company. Maybe with a tiny little screenshot, depending on how many people you're profiling. And once you make the selection, it just kind of makes the view larger. It shows you a bigger picture of the person along with their name and their title. And then you have the option of either just hitting one button to connect with them, or maybe if you wanted to send an audio message to connect with them, you could just do that as well. So yeah, I can talk about design. So yeah, for find, the crown over here is really, really helpful because if you want to change the range of like 100 feet, 200 feet, or like lower, you can just dial in the crown to see where your potential networks are. And so you can, there's a little like radar which shows like, oh, my friend is actually close to this area. So you can either tap on them or have another view, which is a list view, where you can actually see the information. And we do have, we can toggle through like a profile or like what company was that person working for. And we didn't have time to put it in here, but if there's somebody that that you've met up recently, or somebody's in your network, like when you actually if you're in close proximity to each other, like your watch would actually vibrate. Just like, oh, my friends around the area, I might have to look for it. If you enable it, of course, it has to be optional. And yeah, for the list view, we need to make sure that it's easy, scrollable, and just, you don't have to put in a lot of information in there because you have the tiny real estate with a watch view. And for Connect, it's basically self-explanatory. When you have the person, you see the image, a profile, and then you see the name, the company that they work for. And you can also use the crown to actually scroll through different options. So you can actually press to connect. And also you can leave an audio message because, if you're familiar with Android Wear, you can actually use like voice prompts to translate voice to the text. Yeah. So, that's what we got. And that's a limited amount of time. So thanks for joining us.
Very good. Thank you guys. Yeah, so I guess that's us. Where's my team?
So yeah, we took a shot at actually finding the Wunderlist app, which is a to-do list app. And we first tried to list what the app is doing, so let you create tasks, let you browse your to-do list, and also lets you complete tasks, obviously. And we tried to forget about creating lists, adding other people to the list, or adding dates and all to the lists. And we also decided that we would get rid of creating a task from your watch. So the thing is, you can't forget about this one. You just get a list of your tasks that you can scroll through with the digital crown. And
we have contemplated Pinterest for the watch. So we thought about Pinterest as this amazing discovery engine. And it's highly visual. You want to look at it, you want to browse through it, but there's not you don't go to look for something on Pinterest. You're just seeing amazing, beautiful images. So we kind of took the mortarboard design that they're really famous for from all of the other platforms and broke it down into this kind of vaguely reminiscent of the Apple Watch home screen, which is lots of little things kind of going on forever. So we imagined that this could go on in all directions, not necessarily just up and down. You could kind of move around. As you tapped on one, you'd zoom in, so you'd have a slightly bigger view. The title of the image would appear down here, and then you can, from here, take several different actions. So you could double tap, kind of stealing something from Instagram. You can double tap to like it. You could do a hard press on the bottom button to repin it. You can see a list of your boards. It's great, get a little confirmation. And then you can use the digital crown to zoom in. So if you really want to explore this image or see some detail, you can zoom in a little bit on that. And that's the whole thing, because Pinterest is really simple, and that's what makes it amazing.
Okay, so thank everyone for coming today. Once again, we're going to have a WatchKit workshop on November 22nd and the hackathon on the 23rd. If you have an idea for a topic, then just let me know. And I will post the notes and video. I'll chop it up so that it's watchable in the comments on this meetup event. So thanks again. Any questions?
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.